Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. Um, I just recorded about 25 minutes of me speaking to this camera, and then my camera just died, so I lost everything. So that's just an incredible way to continue my day. But of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Um, Finish my exams today, so whoop-de-doo. First things first, what a game. I'm really just re-emphasizing points that I already made before. But what a game. What a performance from both sides. Two of the best teams in Europe going band for band. Absolutely incredible showpiece of football. If you love this sport, that would have been an incredible illustration of why. Barcelona fall at the last hurdle to Internazionale 4-3, I believe 7-6 on aggregates, and really and truly so much to unpack in this game. First things first, I just want to congratulate Inter Milan, all my Inter Milan fans watching. Congratulations. What else did I want to say? Congratulations to all my Inter Milan fans making it to your second Champions League final in 3 years. Incredible feats for Simone Inzaghi's men. And Barcelona fall out at the semifinal stage. First semifinal since 2019, but not without a lack of trying. First things first, where do you even start? I think first, let's start with the first half. I think the first half was really, really well controlled by Barcelona. 2-0 down, despite all that control. I feel like our counter pressing was really good. I felt like we maintained pressure on Inter Milan for long periods of the game. I didn't think Inter Milan had a lot of joy in attack compared to the first leg, where it seemed like with every counterattack, they were just running through us. I felt like we were really, really well composed, really well shaped in the second leg. And Pedri and De Jong were real catalysts for our success in the first half. Despite us not scoring, we had a few half chances. Lamin's tame shot, Lamin's half cross, Ferran's shot. I felt like we had a few good moments in that first half. But of course, first goal comes from Olmo sleeping on the ball. I didn't think Olmo was good at all in the first half. I was actually screaming for him to come off at halftime for Fermin, but he improved in the second half, and DeMarco pounces on it, plays in for Denzel Dumfries, and Denzel Dumfries gives it to Lautaro. Lautaro makes it 1-0. And who even is this Denzel Dumfries guy? Who is this guy? Because I've never seen this guy play like this in my life. That's not Denzel Dumfries. He's never played like that in his life, and he will never play like this again in his life. I don't know who that man is, because that's not Denzel Dumfries. Maybe it's Dani Alves. It might even be Robin. It might be Robin. It might be Gareth Bale, but that's not Denzel Dumfries. Because the way that guy played in these two legs, going forward, defensively, he was suspect. But going forward, that's not Denzel Dumfries, because I've never seen him make that shot. I've never seen him do that dribble. I've never seen him make that pass in his life. But of course, he makes it against Barcelona, and Inter Milan go 1-0 up. And I'm comfortable. We went 2-0 down in the first leg. Let's see what happens. There's still a lot of time to respond. And when Barcelona gave away the penalty, I still believed. In my opinion, maybe this is my bias coming out, I didn't think it was a huge infringement by Kubarsi. Yes, Martinez puts his foot out in front. It's very clever from the World Cup winner, and ultimately it's a penalty for Inter Milan, and Çalhanoğlu is never going to miss a penalty in that position. But of course, after that, going into the second half, I still believed, because this team has given me a lot of reason to believe this season. Whether it's at the Wanda Metropolitano against Real Madrid, every single time they've given me reason to believe this season. And in the second half, they repaid my faith. Gerard Martin, or should we call him Roberto Carlos today? I don't even know what we'll call him. Marcelo gave the ball to Cafu on the other side, brought back 1-2-1, and then Roberto Carlos again delivers a lovely cross for Dani Olmo. And hey, Gerard Martin, I can hold my hands up. I apologize. I said in the first leg, if he plays the second leg, I will not be watching. I will not be there, and look at me. I'm here. But that's what us fans do. That's what us fans do. I still don't think he's good enough. Look, one game is not going to change my mind. Will not change my mind. But he was fantastic today, so I'll give him that. Eric Garcia once again showing his versatility in this squad. Right back, center back, CDM. Doesn't really matter. This guy can fill in and do a job. And I thought at 2-2, it's all to play for. It's all square. Barcelona have all the momentum. We had a few chances. Inter Milan had a few of their own as well. But all the ascendancy was with Barcelona. And I felt as though this is the moment for us to get the kill. And it felt like that kill came. Pedri Gonzalez into Rafinha. Rafinha shot straight at the keeper. Rebound. 3-2 Barca. And in that moment, I'm sitting there and I'm dreaming. First Champions League final since 2015. First Champions League final since primary school. I can't believe it. But then what did this team do? They threw it away. They threw it away. And it's moments like this again, I bring up the point. This high line, this kamikaze style of football, when will it end? I don't mind it for good moments in the game. I don't mind it for a majority of the game. But for me, there are moments where you just need to be a bit more reserved, a bit more calculated, and hold on to what you have. Hold on to what you have. And Barcelona in that moment, once again, threw it away, making the game a basketball game again. And the game goes to extra time. At that moment, weary legs, everybody's tired. It's really now just a moment of quality. And Marcus Thuram provided that quality. Lovely running behind, leaves Araujo for dead, plays it into Taremi into Fratesi, 4-3 Inter Milan, 7-6 on aggregate. And even in that moment, I'm sitting there and I still believe because this team is giving me every reason to believe. And it's unfortunate because just before that goal, you had, even before the Acerbi goal, you had the Lamine Yamal strike come off the post. You had the Lamine Yamal strike saved by Jan Sommer. Could have been so different. It could have been so different. And that's what's so frustrating about tonight. I don't even think Inter Milan played that well. I don't even think Barcelona played a bad game. Genuinely coming into this tie, when I heard Balde was out, when I heard Koundé was out, I was like, yeah, put it in the bag. Put it in the bag. We are out. But the team today showed mental resolve. Mental resolve. And I thought they played a really good game. Counter-pressing today was fantastic. We did really well in negating their counter-attacking presence. I mean, I thought we played a good game, but it just wasn't enough. Inter Milan, when you give them 4 chances, they're going to score 4 goals. You have to take your chances against Inter Milan, and today we just didn't do that. We just did not do that. And ultimately, I guess the better team won, even though I don't believe that. I don't believe Inter Milan's the better team. I think they won the tie, but this is knockout football. Anything can happen. But let's not take anything away from Inter Milan. They played a good game. 2 good legs, took advantage of our high line when they needed to, and defended resolutely. The commentators tonight kept on talking about Inter Milan's formidable defense. And for me, I don't really want to be hearing you calling the opposition's defense formidable when they've conceded 6 goals in 2 games. That is not a formidable defense. That is not a formidable defense. And I know people will say, oh, you conceded 7, but nobody ever said Barcelona's defense is formidable. This is an Inter Milan team they've kept on jamming down our throats. They've only conceded 2 goals in the whole Champions League campaign. Well, they conceded 6 to us. But 6 wasn't enough because our defense is way, way too exposed. But at the end of the day, the team gave it their all. And for once in a very long time, I can finally stand up and say that this team is competitive. After many, many, many years of abhorrent performances in Europe, whether that's the Champions League, the Europa League, we were close to even maybe falling down to conference. But now I can finally stand up and say that this team is good enough to perform at the highest level. This team has the mental resolve to go away from home and perform at the highest level. Incredible performance from the team, incredible performance from the players. So many of them tonight turned up. And that's all I ask. That's the minimum I ask in these sort of games. Make sure you turn up. Because these are the biggest games of the season. These are the biggest game of your career. In a Barcelona jersey, at least if you don't do it for yourself, do it for everybody who's watching. Do it for everybody who's supporting you back home. And every single one of them did that tonight. Individual performances. I thought Marcus Thuram for Inter Milan was fantastic. Really, really good. Held the ball up fantastically well. Those nice little flicks. Other than him, Lautaro came off pretty early, didn't really have any impact in the game other than that goal and the penalty that he won. But that's the thing with Inter Milan. They come in spurts, in moments. They don't need prolonged periods of play. I thought the midfield of Inter Milan was dominated by Pedri and De Jong. I thought Pedri and De Jong were incredible in the whole 120 minutes or 105 minutes in the terms of Pedri, who came off. But I thought De Jong today was incredible. Pedri as well, getting the assist for the third goal, which we thought was going to be the winning goal. The center backs, Inigo and Kubarthi, yeah, they had their rough moments, but I thought they did pretty well. The counter pressing today was really, really good. Eric Garcia did a really good job in that. And we came into this tie without our first choice left back and right back. And despite that, you saw the level that they showed today. So I'm very happy with the players. I'm very happy with the team. And we just need to pick ourselves up and go back again next year because this team is good enough to win the Champions League. I promise you this team is good enough. Fine tune a few places and we can definitely win it next year. And that's the thing I'm most happy about, that the players went out there and showed their level and showed that they can go toe-to-toe with arguably the best team in Europe. So, Rafinha, we'll get to Rafinha. Dani Olmo in the first half, absolutely rubbish. Second half improved massively, scored the goal, had a few chances, created a few chances. I thought he was much better in the second half. Ferran Torres had no impact in the game whatsoever. And Lewandowski's introduction really late into the game was I kind of questioned that. I don't know why it took Flick that long to bring him on. But ultimately, Ferran Torres in this sort of game, I didn't expect him to have any impact. When you're playing at the San Siro away from home, in this sort of stadium, in this sort of environment, in this big of a game, against the defenders like Acerbi, Bastoni, and who was it, Bisek that started the game, I really didn't expect him to have any impact. But two players that I really want to touch on in particular, other than De Jong and Pedri, who I thought for me were the man of the matches, at least for Barcelona. Inter Milan, I thought Denzel Dumfries, we talked about him at the start. That's not Denzel Dumfries. He had a good game, good tie. Marcus Thuram as well. DeMarco wasn't that good. Bastoni, he did his best against Yamal, even though this is where we're going to transition into the talk about Yamal. Bastoni, I thought, did his best alongside DeMarco, alongside Mkhitaryan. 3 of them against Yamal the entire game. 3 of them against Yamal the entire game, and this boy still had a fantastic game. Still created a lot of chances, still had shots on goal, still posed a threat to this Inter Milan team throughout the 120 minutes. Could have left with 2-3 goals today. Created chances at a platinum. Ridiculous. And these are the sort of games to me that just prove that this kid is not. If you needed any confirmation, this is the sort of performance today that showed me this kid he's for real. Because in these sort of games, in the tough games, away from home, when everything is against you, can you turn up? And Lamine Yamal turned up today. He didn't get a goal, he didn't get an assist, and ultimately we go crashing out. And people ridicule him saying, now you can stop being arrogant, now you can stop being cocky. But that performance from Lamine Yamal in these 2 legs, if anything, just grew his stock even more. The lovely goal in the first leg, the tormenting of DeMarco in the first leg, and then in the second leg, despite up against 3 guys. Guys, how many times did we see Yamal 1v1 against Bastoni? Gone. How many times did we see him 1v1 against Sommer? Didn't have that clinical touch, that clinical touch, paired with incredible saves from Jan Sommer. That shot off the post, that shot wide that Sommer saves with his fingertip. Those chances he created for Rafinha, for Ferran, for Lewandowski. This kid is not easy. He's certified, man. He's certified. Certified baller, certified hooper. And then on the other side, you have Rafinha. Now, I know Rafinha scored in this game. And really and truly, I'm not even coming here to try and say that this loss is on him. But Rafinha really needed to perform a lot better than he did in today's game. He needed to perform a lot better in today's game. He needed to perform a lot better in the tie in general. Because I know Rafinha has been touted as this Ballon d'Or winner or Ballon d'Or contender. And for me, anybody who watches football, anybody who watches the games knows that this guy is not our best player. He's not our best player. If Lamine Yamal doesn't have a good game, Rafinha is not going to have a good game. If Rafinha has a good game, Lamine Yamal could have a good game. If Rafinha has a bad game, Lamine Yamal could have a good game. Lamine Yamal's performances are independent of Rafinha's. But Rafinha's performances are dependent on Lamine Yamal's performances. I cannot remember the last time Lamine Yamal had a poor game and Rafinha had a good one. in the same game. Couldn't tell you. He gives you a lot of fight and work rate. But you look at today's game, you look at the tie as a whole. The fact that Inter Milan can put three men on Lamine Yamal and not even worry about what's happening on the left. Now, I know that's also down to the injury of Balde. But are you really trying to tell me that Rafinha doesn't even have a little bit of bag to stay wide and run it up on his man? I felt in the entire game, second leg, little to no impact. Little to no impact from Rafinha. Poor decision making at certain times. He was much better when he came into that central role, which is why I guess Balde bombs down that left side so he can tuck inside and really have an impact in the game. But when he was on that left-hand side, my goodness, he did next to nothing. And it's games like this, I'm looking at people like Rafinha, please, we need you to perform. Dani Olmo, we need you to perform. And in that first half, I'm watching it and I'm like, Lamine's on his own here. It's Lamine, Pedri, and De Jong and vibes. Everybody else is vibing. Can somebody please stand up? And in the second leg, it was Gerard Martin. It was Gerard Martin who stood up. And in the final moments of the game, it was Dani Olmo. And then finally, Rafinha decided to join us in the game. I'm not trying to heap anything on Rafinha here. I'm not, but I just want a bit more from this so-called player who's this Ballon d'Or contender. I don't know what happened to him since he went away for international duty and that whole Argentina game happened. He's not the same player. I don't know. He needs to fix up because we have a big game coming up. But all in all, Barcelona fall out of the Champions League. It's really, really frustrating that we played this game without Koundé and Balde, but that's just how it is. Everybody has injuries. Everybody in Europe has injuries right now. It's just the way it is. Apart from Inter Milan, it seems, who seem to have all their best players come back on time for this game. But ultimately, Barcelona go crashing out. Inter Milan go into the final. They will be heavy, maybe not heavy favorites, but you never know what's going to happen in the game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But of course, if you guys enjoyed the game, if you didn't enjoy the game, I really don't know whether you love this sport. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about the game. Incredible game. Incredible. Obviously, we lost, but if you're neutral, you're smiling with that game. Back and forth, incredible fixture. And now we go and play El Clasico on Saturday or Sunday. So 4 goals conceded tonight. Let's make it 4v4 versus Real Madrid in the La Liga. And let's just wrap that up. What I don't want to see now is this team feels bad for themselves and they fall and they lose La Liga in the process just because we've lost the Champions League. Pick yourself back up and go again on Sunday. It's going to be tough. This is a Real Madrid team that has nothing to lose, but I believe we can do it. So, of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Take care of yourselves.